Hello, you guys. Welcome back. We are doing part two today of our deep dive on Herbalife. So, if you have come from episode or deep dive part one of Herbalife,
hmm
welcome back. We hope you
hmm
stay. Um,
hmm
Maddie was like spilling the tea with her dad because somehow he got involved in Herbalife, and I
Uh,
have been waiting to hear the tech. She sent me a screenshot of her asking him for the details. It's like I am waiting for these receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
like I said, Herbalife has targeted the Latino population, and my dad is from Mexico City, so there you go.
He fell victim. And
He fell
you
victim.
said your dad is like a pretty skeptical guy, right?
He is, but for a long time, and still in some way he just wasn't the best with like nutrition and with
Right.
and it's the same thing, like you ask your family or they tell you, oh, try this, this should be helpful for you, that type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a what's like your grandma's sibling, what is that?
Your grandma's sibling, I think, is your great aunt.
Okay, my great aunt, my great aunt, she struggled with her weight for a long, long time, and then she was using some type of shake. I don't know if it was Herbalife or another one, but she was gaining weight, and my grandma was like, and they don't know a ton about nutrition, but she was like, "Well, you need to call them and tell them you're gaining weight." And she goes, "Well, I'm eating the shakes and I'm having regular meals." So she wasn't like replacing her
Yeah,
meals.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because it's just kind of like that's what happens again when you don't have a solid foundation of understanding food and you're relying on something. So we are on a time crunch because July is a month of more Wednesdays. So we only have so many hours of podcasting we can do. So we'll just skip our intro and we know
We're
you
right
guys
here
want to
for it.
hear. We're right here. So we'll start with the conversation I had with my dad. Let me find. So part one, we talked about the business behind pyramid schemes and MLMs, what Herbalife is, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about the nutritional side. It is a little bit briefer, just keep that in mind. But we're going to talk about, is it actually good? Their products, um, are their products worthy, like worth basing it, buying based on nutrition alone, any lawsuits, things like that, because they're on where are they at now. So I remember seeing the container in the kitchen cabinet of Herbalife. I remember exactly what it looks like. I think I maybe tried one or two, like as a kid. And so I asked my dad, I'm like, where the heck how did you know about that? He said he got it from his family. He was using it in Mexico, so he bought
Mm.
it from them. I was like, "Why did you want to use it?" And he goes, "Well, I wanted to lose weight, and I like the idea of having a smoothie instead of a regular meal." I was like, "Okay, I can understand that because it's like a meal replacement, Like
Yep.
sometimes if I'm in a rush, I'll make a protein shake in the blender with protein powder, like pea plant, because I'm lactose intolerant. I'll do bananas, strawberries, peanut butter, whatever, protein, fats, and carbs. Super simple.
Spinach.
So it's spinach.
Anytime a
There you go.
blender is on,
Yep.
put spinach in it. You
Spinach.
don't taste it and you get the
Yep.
benefits.
It's just a little green. You'll get over
Yeah, you'll
it.
get over it.
Yeah. Um, so that's what I would do. But he said he wanted to do that to lose weight and not have to worry about a meal. He
Hmm.
said he used it for a few months and it made him bloated. And I
Mm.
didn't I didn't like ask, I didn't coach him through. I was just asking for information. And he goes, I thought I was getting bloated so that would stop me from being hungry. And we're going to talk about why he got bloated. So that's not a good thing, obviously. If you're drinking something, you're like, oh my god, my stomach, like not a good thing. He said he didn't like it. He thought, and this is where his skepticism comes in. He's like, I can only order it through a rep, and I thought that a distributor is what they're called. I
Mm,
thought
yeah.
that was weird. And he said it was boring to drink. And he said after a while he just quit because it was kind of expensive. And he's like, why am I buying it from this distributor? Like it was just odd. So
Yeah.
that's what happened.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people end up doing, as we like talked about in part one. Like the
Mhm.
company, it kind of is its success is based on how many distributors sign up and then how many people they can get to sign up, and they don't care if it succeeds or fails. Like your dad all of a sudden was just like, this is kind of expensive. It's really not tasting good. So like I'm not gonna buy it anymore. That
Hmm.
person that he bought from already had all of the product. They already paid the
Hmm.
company and now they're stuck with it. They can't sell it. Um,
Hmm.
and that's just like a prime example of like why these things are so sketchy and scummy, because it's not like if you are the distributor and you have product and you're like, I can't sell it. Can I return it? They're like, nope.
Exactly. And they're going to charge you a restocking fee.
Yeah, literally. It's like, what? Like I have to pay to
Uh,
return this. Okay.
yeah, I fell for that with Beauty Counter. Fun times. All right. So, are their products actually good? So, we talked about in part one, there's like 180 some million products, which is insane. And without speaking for Allie, but speaking for Allie, I'm sure we both agree on this that we don't I mean, I don't prescribe any supplements to my
Yep.
clients, nor does Allie. And we definitely don't add things in like just regular vitamins, things like, fish oil, a B supplement, things like that. If our clients are not just hitting the basics of a healthier, fuller lifestyle, like sunlight, sleep, stress reduction, all that kind of stuff. There's no sense in adding more shit on top that might be hard for some people to add in. Like for some people, if they're just getting like, okay, I'm gonna take a walk, adding in like 5 vitamins is like, oh my god, way too much. And I've been
Yep.
there. Like that was me when I was really sick. It was just too much for me to handle. So we don't recommend doing that. And a lot of these companies like Herbalife, it's like they have so many because they want you to like fall in the wormhole of supplements. You need
Yep.
this, you need that. I have a family member who he always has. It's like, look at this supplement I just found. I'm like, did you fall for another one? And sometimes like I'll try them because he bought like 50 of them. And
Yeah.
it just so happened the one that I tried I actually did need, so that like came in handy. But some people just love to like fall into those traps of getting more and getting more when they're not nailing the basics. So having
Right.
that in your mind first. So I checked out one of their products. It's called Herbalife 24 Rebuild Strength. It's a protein powder. So it had a lot of fillers. And if you're like, what are
Mm.
fillers? I will get to that. I'm not a fan. This product, a protein powder, had iron in it. I'm not a fan of having an iron in your supplement, especially if you're postmenopausal, because when you're not naturally releasing iron through your menstrual cycle, that's how you get a buildup. So if you're someone that's like postmenopausal, don't make sure like your woman's daily vitamin doesn't have extra iron in it because you're not able to release it like a menstruating woman can. Um, but if you stay away from, like I said, okay, the filler ingredients, what the heck are those? Why did it cause my dad's stomach to hurt and many other people for it to hurt? Guar gum, modified food starch, natural flavors, all of these can cause gas, intestinal discomfort, fatigue, bloating, diarrhea, all that kind of stuff. So if you drink something and you're like, oh, my stomach, and it's a protein shake, this is why a lot of people, they're like, protein shakes made me gassy. Protein.
Yep.
No, it's the filler that made you gassy, not the protein shake. I feel like whenever, I don't know what year this was, whenever protein shakes got, whenever eating more protein got popular. Like,
I
it felt
feel
like,
like on Instagram it was like 2000, like 16, 17, 18, like seven,
yes,
we'll call it
yes.
2017. It was like every influencer was doing like one carb protein waffles and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
protein oatmeal and protein cake, and
yeah,
like everything was
yeah.
just protein.
Protein.
And it was like, okay, this is great because now I have all these like fun recipes, and
Yeah.
not really that
Exactly.
fun.
Exactly. And everyone's saying, like, I tried hitting 100 grams of protein. I was so gassy because a lot of them are just having one protein, one carb protein,
Waffles.
waffle. They're eating protein shakes with like 50 grams of protein powder,
Yep.
protein grams, but it's also with a shit ton of shit in there, the
Right.
fillers, the guar gum, the food starch, all that stuff. So no wonder their stomachs are wrecked after.
Yep.
So that's what can happen. Looking through that, I was like, there's all these ingredients. Like some companies love to add all these extra boosts, this, boost that. Like when I tell clients, they're like, what protein powder should I have? Because I'm a fan of protein powder. I use a protein powder in my oatmeal every day, but I
Hmm.
pair it with something else, eggs. And I tell my clients, yeah, sure, you can definitely use protein powder, give yourself some variety, but it shouldn't be every single meal.
Yep.
Um, and for what you're getting, like when I tell them, they're like, "Oh, what kind should I get? What stuff should I get in there?" I'm like, "You don't need anything extra. Like if you want
Yep.
to go crazy, creatine. Creatine's a great supplement, but you don't need to add extra things to your protein powders." And that's what Herbalife has, like a million different things in there, and that's what jacks up the price. And then you have the fillers. So just in that one product alone, I don't need to see anymore. Like I already
Yep.
know everything else is going to be kind of the same. So if we're going to talk about anything else about that, we have to cover the lawsuits. So this was interesting. So this was from that information was from the website itself. I just looked at their
Hmm.
product. And this is from NCBI. It's like the NIH government website for studies and stuff.
Yep.
If you remember in high school, you look up studies, you'd like be brought to that site. So there was an article posted in 2019. It was Herbalife associated with severe, if I mispronounce this, hepatotoxicity in a previously healthy woman. If you're like, what the heck is that? So I was like, what is that? Because I don't know. This is from HIV Info, government website. So, hepatotoxicity is a medical term for damage to the liver caused by medicine, chemical, or herbal or dietary supplement. It can be a side effect of some HIV medications.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah.
So the summary of that article, there, and this was in 2019, there have been increased consumption of herbal preparations distributed as nutritional supplements, often claimed to be natural and harmless. Hence, this is why it's important if you're taking anything like natural can mean like natural flavors. That could be literally all chemicals. Doesn't have to be
Yep.
anything
Yep.
natural. However, as their use is not subjected to strict pre-marketing testing because supplements are not FDA regulated, um, their ingredients are not clearly defined, and there is no effectiveness in safety control or proof of any effectiveness, safety control, quality control, none of that. A growing body of references accentuate their harmful effects, in particular hepatotoxicity, which varies from minimal hepatogram changes to functional hepatitis requiring liver transplantation. The
Mm.
report describes liver damage suspected by Herbalife products. They took out alcohol, viral, metabolic, autoimmune, all these types of things that could cause it. And the connection was between Herbalife products and liver damage. The exact mechanism of liver damage in our patient was not determined, but after removing Herbalife products, the liver damage resolved, and there was no reason to perform a liver biopsy. So this is obviously like a scary thing. Like
Yeah.
that's a big deal. You can look this up on TikTok, and there's lots of cases.
Yeah.
This new info was from Group Action Lawyers .co.uk. So in 2017, there was a woman who filed a lawsuit against Herbalife, caused her liver damage. She was taking them for 6 years, and she sustained irreversible liver damage and had to get a transplant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in 2012, there was a group of researchers that analyzed ingredients, and they found that a lot of the ingredients were causing liver damage cases that were noted in a hospital, and they found a bacteria, Bacillus subtilis, inside that. And the WebMD, I'm like, what's that? It says that bacteria can cause gas and bloating. So again,
Hmm.
infecting the intestinals. They found patients became ill from using these products, suffered liver inflammation, hepatitis, but they were able to recover most of them after stopping the supplements. So
Wow.
I don't think you need to know anything else like about like are these products good if they're causing liver damage and some of them irreversible. That's freaking
Right.
scary.
That is super
So
crazy.
like,
But it's like,
mhm,
I think a lot of people just green light like supplements because they're like health and they're for your
mhm,
wellness and they're all these good things. But
mhm,
one thing you can look for is like if it's third party tested, right? Because the FDA is not
yeah,
gonna look over them, doesn't give a shit. But if it's third party tested, that means like the supplement company is bringing somebody in to test
yes, yeah,
quality and efficacy. And that is we got to be a little, we have to practice discernment when putting things into our body.
Even that though, like I've been wondering, I'm like, who is this third party? Like I've been wondering, like if
Well, I
things are
think
not
it's like a lot of labs. Like, I don't know if it's,
right, right. But I'm saying like if they're not FDA regulated, right? Then who's gonna be checking? Like you have a product, whatever, and at the bottom it says third party tested. Like it's almost like you could just stamp that and call it a day. Like was it actually third party tested? Like
well,
who's actually looking into that?
I think you can't stamp it on or else it'd be a freaking lawsuit. Like you can't put gluten free on something unless you pay like for the copyright. You can't
Yeah, but is third party tested a copyright? Do you know what I
oh, I'm
mean?
sure it is. Because the reason why I why I feel it is a smarter way to maybe look at your supplements is because when working with a lot of athletes, and especially like if like in college, like working with Division 1 athletes and that sort of stuff, you can't be taking certain things because it might, like if you drink muscle milk, that
Right.
would have
Yeah,
thrown
but
off.
they have a specific accreditation they need to follow. I
And but a
think
lot of, if you're going outside of that, it's a lot, you one thing to kind of like look for, I guess, is to give you an identifier is like third party tested. If we're looking for, because I feel like a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to spend a lot of money on supplements, right? I want something like kind of not too expensive and like tastes okay. Like if it's like
mhm.
a drink or a greens powder, they don't necessarily need to taste like shit. But I feel like if you're like drinking a greens powder, it's not supposed to taste like Fruit Loops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think it's third party tested is better than nothing.
That's what,
But
yeah.
my curious side of me is like I always wondered like who is third party testing, like I've always just wondered that myself. But yeah, to Allie's point, like you want to make sure things are third party tested because they're not FDA regulated. Nothing is.
Hmm.
And that's why having discernment, knowing about the fillers, like that's super important. Like all of my stuff has like literally nothing. And even
Yeah.
I've been trying to get away from ordering supplements off Amazon because a lot of them, you don't know how long they've been sitting there. A lot of them can be fake.
Mm.
It's safer to order directly from the source. Do I still order them from Amazon? Yeah, I do. I'm lazy and sometimes it's cheaper and you have to have like a certain amount you have to buy from a place to get free shipping. I'm like, I'm just
Yep.
gonna order from Amazon. But just keeping that in mind, check reviews, like I think that's important. I was buying some kind of eye cream, and then some of the reviews were like, "The bottle came empty." I'm like, shouldn't buy that from there."
Right, right, right. And I think
So
it's also if you're having some sort of like adverse effect, like if you're feeling bloated or you're like, ooh, I just like feel like shit every time I like drink something or take, this like shit ton of like multivitamin, just like this like super pack of things. Like if you don't
mhm,
feel good after it, that is your body trying to signal to you. It's not like, oh, I'm supposed to feel this way. Like your dad thinking, oh, this is how it's going to help me lose weight because I'm going to feel like
uh-huh,
garbage. Like these are things we also have to kind of keep an eye out for because you're the only one that like knows your body.
mhm,
So I think we just have to like kind of clock in a little bit more and not when it comes to like supplements or like creams or soaps are things that you're using. If you're all of a sudden feeling like, oh, this is, my body is not having a happy response, is stop taking it. Like, don't just be blind to things because you're going to end up
mhm,
like these poor people going into like close to like liver failure, needing transplants. Like, that is
mhm.
horrific.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like when you know something's causing you an issue and you keep doing it, and just like,
Yes.
oh, whatever, it is what it is. Like, no, that's not. And I think for a lot of people too, sometimes I mean, not sometimes, this happens a lot. Like whenever you like we work with a new client and they start having more energy, they have less aches and pains because maybe they're losing weight and their joints are like, whew, pressure's off,
Yeah.
things like that. And then let's say something happens, they get sick or they gain some weight back and they feel like shit, their joints feel like shit. They don't realize how much in pain they were in until they lost that pain and then got that back.
Yep.
So for some people, when they take different supplements, they haven't experienced like what it feels like to be healthy yet and not have these
Right.
issues. So it's like normal, it's like
Yep.
normal to feel that way. So for them, it's like, oh, I'm typically like this, like bloated
Mm.
again,
Yep.
like the trend, like hot girls have tummy problems. Like that's not that you have an issue. You have it
Yeah.
like you have stomach issues, like whatever it is, acid reflux, low stomach acid. Like we gotta fix these things. It's not
Yeah.
just like, what are we doing, hot girls? What aloe drink are we drinking? It's like these are things we
Mm.
have to fix. But
Bitches love to drink aloe on TikTok. Ugh. I'm like,
there's a Herbalife aloe one.
no wonder why, like, if you're constipated, drink aloe. Like, no wonder why. Like, that is going
Mhm.
right through you. And the thought of drinking that, I actually would vomit.
Yeah, I would think it's like syrupy,
Syrupy and like, oh, no.
No.
Thank
Okay.
you, next, bitch.
So, where are they now? So, to
Mm.
conclude all of this glorious information, so just like everything else, right, with the resurgence of TikTok and social media, things come back to life. Um, there's a lot of people that are willing to trust people, especially like TikTok shop. Like, oh, I saw them use it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I almost deleted TikTok because of TikTok shop. I couldn't fucking stand every other TikTok was like a TikTok shop. I'm like, kill
Yeah.
me, like, stop.
You know
And
what is slimy about TikTok Shop?
what?
Your first purchase, they give you like a mega coupon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you have, and again, this is like buyer beware, but psychologically,
Mm-hmm.
you're like less, you have less of a wall up because you're like, oh, it'll be like basically free. So whatever, I'll
Mm-hmm.
try it. And it just, I don't know, like love TikTok. I'll go down with TikTok, but I've never and I will never purchase something off of TikTok shop because I'm just like, I don't know. This is like giving some like Alibaba like shit.
Yeah, some of it is. Um, some of it is. So people are just willing to buy from people. That's
Yep.
the issue.
Yeah.
And I was going down a wormhole on TikTok about Herbalife and like, oh my God, it helped me lose so
Mm.
much weight, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh God, shut up. So it's funny because on July 3rd of 2024, there was
Oh,
an article,
wow.
but I know, an article written, the New Indian Express. I don't know how I found this, but I was just looking up Herbalife stuff.
Yeah.
So, India, go figure, a lot of people there. The largest revenue contributor for Herbalife. It has surpassed China. Okay, I don't know by how much, but they just said surpassed China. China, huge population. India is at, guess how much they brought in revenue? This, please guess.
Oh, I'm so bad at guessing. I'm gonna go
Oh, yeah,
like
I forgot you are.
400 million.
800 million.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So they have ventured into skincare products,
Mm.
and that's a big thing now with TikTok too. Like
Yep.
it's gotten even bigger. And that was July 3rd, 2024. So it is still going. They have expanded into different things beyond just supplements.
Business do they have going into skincare? If you're just here
None.
to sell supplements, so look,
None.
what is the where are we jumping from? Like what how does that come off? I understand, like remember in part one, you were talking about like their mission statement and like health, spiritual, emotional. And so I can see where they like can make the claim, but
Mhm.
that is I would never think about buying skincare from a supplement line. And maybe people don't know that they sell supplements. Maybe they straight up are just like, "Oh, it's literally just a skincare line."
I know, like their core values: total well-being, physical health, emotional well-being, financial
Oh yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah. Cha-ching. We got that money. My
So
God.
it's, and we've posted about that we were doing this. People are like, it worked for me, but it just got too expensive. Like, did it actually work if you couldn't keep up with it? Like,
Right. Or I always think, what else did you start doing when you started
mhm,
like the shakes? Because a lot of times with clients we see, um, you start picking up one habit and then you're like, okay, I'm going to also add in more walking, or
mhm,
I'm going to add in going to the gym, and this will be like my post workout shake.
mhm.
And you just become a little bit more aware of what you're doing for your body once you maybe you find something that was kind of like the catalyst to get you going.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, if something is, well, I think there is something to be said. Sometimes doing good shit for your body is expensive. Like, let's keep it real.
Yeah,
Eating
I think.
healthy at home is like, it's kind of expensive.
No, do
Oh,
not promote that. I do not think that.
well, I
People
think
buy
if you
shit all the time.
people can buy shit all the time, but I'm saying that in the state that we are in, groceries are expensive. So if you are committed to your health, you have to say, if I'm going to eat well for my body, maybe I'm not going to be getting takeout 3 times a week because that adds on the extra cost, right?
Sure, but
I if
I
I'm going
firm
to
go ahead.
invest in like the meats at the grocery store because I want to get my protein in, fresh fruit, things like that for my body, I have to be aware. You know what? I'm not going to go out to get, happy hour a couple times a week with my girlfriends, because if I want to invest in my health, if I want to take care of my body in a way that's like sustainable, I need to eat foods that are good for my body.
Yes, but I personally don't believe eating healthier is more expensive. It is just a uh, choosing what you want to put your money towards. It is not expensive to get a bag of apples, to get, some different green vegetables that are in season or on sale. I buy green anything, zucchini, Brussels sprouts, all that stuff. Like, I buy all that stuff on sale. Same thing with like chicken. It is relatively cheap per pound. It's whenever you get things that are more processed, boxed,
Mm,
pre-prepared. That stuff is expensive. I choose to live in the world of like, I don't think healthy eating is expensive. And people, not saying you're exactly doing this, but people are like, healthy eating is expensive. Well, if you're buying organic, sure, it's going to
mm,
have a bigger price tag. You can buy stuff frozen, you can buy stuff canned. You don't have to buy anything organic. I still don't buy fruits and veggies organic. I just wash them. Sure, they probably have some pesticides on it, but like at the end of the day, I'm not thinking about every single pesticide. But you just have to decide, okay, do I want to go to happy hour with the girls, or do I want to buy better ingredients to have at home? I think that's truly what it is. I
mm.
can't think of the word, just choosing where you're going to put your dollar, basically.
And I think it's, well, that is why I believe it goes back to, it is a little bit more expensive in the moment because your brain, like for the people, like for a lot of the clients we work with, they're used to doing the things like, I want to go to happy hour. I want to, after we come home from the bar, I want to order fucking DoorDash, and it's 85, $100 later. And then when they go to the grocery store, they're like, ooh, this is expensive. It makes you kind of say, okay, I have to choose. Like you said, where am I putting my money? Where is the expense going? Because I know for like us, like I don't complain about what I spend at the grocery store, but I also am like, well, you know what? We don't like order out a ton. We don't, I'm not going out a lot and like drinking and partying. So like it's okay that my money is going here because like I know that's what I want for my health and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of people when they're not ready to commit, it's like like this is more expensive and like I don't know how to make it work. So they get like this barrier of like I can't eat healthy because like I'm spending my money over here, but they're like that cognitive dissonance is like they're not thinking
Mhm.
about spending the money over here. So then sometimes
Mhm.
like maybe they'll just like end up buying like a greens powder because they're like, oh well, this is healthy and maybe it's a little bit
Mhm.
cheaper. Um, but I think
Yeah, I
it's
would
also a lot.
say,
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
There you go.
I would say if you think that way and you struggle with like going out to eat and wanting to do this and then like buying all these groceries. Do this. Go through your bank account, right? Add up every single
Yeah.
time you had drinks, every single time you had fast food, every single time you went and got coffee. Add all that up for the month and then tell me. Tell me
Yeah.
where you're putting your money.
Yeah.
Because I know we barely go out to eat. We went out to eat last weekend and was
Yep.
it last weekend or 2 weekends ago? Because Joel's sister was in town and I was like, and we have like the way we do our finance, we have money for gifts and things that we
Sure.
save every paycheck. So I'm like, oh, we'll just use that from there because it was kind of like an event we did, and didn't it doesn't bother me, but that we don't do that all the time because
Right.
I would rather have a home stocked with meat from our local farmer. I would rather have, I don't even buy green green eggs. I don't even buy like brown eggs, but like cage-free eggs, things like that.
Yep.
I would rather do that. And if you would rather spend your money drinking and stuff like that, totally fine. I'm not here to judge you, but then don't turn around and be like, eating healthy is expensive. No, your idea of eating healthy is expensive because you think you have to have organic things like that, but you would
Mm.
choose to drink and things like that. It's all what you want to prioritize at the end of the day.
I think it's also a good point too, because a lot of maybe what you're reading on social media or TikTok, but there is such a high value placed on organic and
Mhm.
making sure you're getting like the top of the line
Mhm.
produce and meats and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying like buy protein sources that are like meats or whatever like that are junky. Like I'm always trying to look for like what is like the best quality. But like again, like can we just normalize like buying the frozen fruits and veggies, buying things that aren't necessarily like viewed as like the best. You need organic and
Mhm.
you need pesticide free and you need all this sort of stuff because like that is a barrier for some people because you go to like fucking Whole Foods, you get one bag of groceries and it's like $100. And so
Yeah, I don't
maybe
shop at Whole Foods.
well, maybe that's a part of the conversation where people have this idea that healthy eating is going to Whole Foods or going to stores like that and only buying the what is viewed as like the top of the top, like
Mhm.
organic and having all these different labels, all natural and like all this sort of shit. When you could easily go, like you said, go to the frozen aisle, get a frozen bag of like veggies, frozen bags of fruit, doing things in a way that like works for your home. Because a lot of the times, like, who the hell is talking about healthy eating? Go to the frozen aisle, right? Like, who? No one's talking about that. It's just like always like, look at my Erewhon haul. Look at my Whole Foods haul. It's like, okay, well, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I we didn't get to this point where a lot of like I don't use like the only oils we use in this house are avocado oil and olive
Yep.
oil. That's it. I'm not using anything else. But we've gotten to this point years and years of getting in more into it and
Yeah.
when just like the habit building, right? We didn't start off with 50 million habits like I'm getting sunlight, I'm wearing amber glasses at night, all these things. Like I didn't get there just overnight. It was slowly
Right.
adding more things in. And same with with your grocery shopping. You start small and add more and what you're comfortable with and you learn more over time and anything habit building too. So you don't have to start at the very top tier. You can slowly get there and minimal ingredients is all you like truly need when it comes to like eating quote unquote healthier, cleaner, that type of thing. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Because I feel like it would be a little bit it would be for me a little bit classist to say that it's not expensive because a lot of people like when they do think about eating healthy it's like maybe some of the shit you see on TikTok or like when you're watching on the
Mhm.
Today Show, this is what you should look out for in the grocery store, and it's a lot of more expensive versions of what you could get for a better cost for
Yeah.
you. And like that's like why can't we just like be more real? Like okay, this is we are going to get our own TV show and we're gonna host and we're gonna keep it real because like it is super annoying to just like see all this like felonious just kind of like shit where it's like okay this is not real like you're like Whole Foods or Erewhon halls like I want to see more real shit and like we have
Mhm.
discernment we can be like that's crazy but maybe other people are like oh shit if I like want to be healthier that's the only way that I can do it. That's why we're here.
I agree. 100% agree. So what do you think of the whole we kind of finished our Herbalife thing?
Literally
What do you think?
crazy. Literally
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's What was super crazy to me to start really is the amount of products that they have.
Hmm.
Close to 200 products.
Hmm.
Where is there to me that feels like there's no oversight being done.
No, why would there be? They're probably like, ooh, new product, it's horse shit in a pill, sell it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not
Yeah.
thinking about, there is no discernment, there is no quality control.
It's
There is just like
scary.
money in the eyes and we go forward.
It's really scary. And I did like a mentorship coaching program, and another coach in um the group, she sold Herbalife.
Uh,
And I don't think anybody knew that, but then on like a group call, somebody was like, "Yeah, like it's so annoying. Like I'll have clients come in the DMs and they're like, 'Oh, I tried Herbalife.'" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, no shit, you have like gut problems." And I'm like, we're not here to like bash people that tried Herbalife. Like I'm not gonna make you feel bad if you come into my DMs and you tell me that. Like we're here to educate." But then this lady, like I saw her like in the upper right bubble, she was just like, and then the coach was like, "Oh, we do have some people in here that like, use those products. So like, like no hate, no shade, whatever." I can't really remember, but I was just like,
mhm,
it makes me sad when you have other people that are like professionals in this space that are
yeah,
using those types of products, because as coaches, we're starting with the basics, right? Drink water, right? Like you were telling about your client a couple episodes ago, like the 3 bottles of water
mhm,
or steps, like movement. Even if you can't,
mhm,
you can't get to the gym because you're in pain or you're having, just there's an overwhelm, there's a barrier. Let's just start with like moving your body. We start at a
mhm,
very basic level because we understand where you're coming from, and like the mindset that needs to be like molded to get you to this place of like where you can go in the gym and you feel amazing and all this sort of stuff. So just to feel like a lot of people unfortunately are like get funneled into like something like Herbalife, like a lot of the MLMs, is really disheartening.
yeah, and it even reminds me, like I was in my networking era, remember last year, this year-ish, and I went to one, I
You
know,
are such a trooper because you hated it every time.
hated it so much. I was like, this could be great. Okay, note to self, if your body's like you're like, I'm trying to like I'm a very hell yes or a hell no type person now. And it was definitely a hell no, but like I pushed through the pangs. I'm like, this is how I can grow. No, never again. Anyway, I went to one of those networking things and like you had to stand up and you had like 45 seconds to like say about
Your
yourself. And
elevator
I was like,
pitch.
yeah, and I was like literally sweating through my entire body. And this lady got up and I don't think it was Herbalife. I don't know who exactly she was selling, but she was like, "This is our new slim shake, yada 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 blah blah blah." And then the girl next to her, like she was friends with her, and she goes, "Yeah, when she always brings them everywhere," and literally poured it into my drink, and it like was it like totally dissolved. So she couldn't. It was like the
Yeah.
same as water, and she drank it and she goes, "This tastes weird." And she, "Oh yeah, I poured you some like a powder." I was like, "Gee, you can't just like freaking like spike people's drink with this shit."
Wait,
Yes.
what?
Like she was just trying to get everyone to taste it, and she like poured it into her friend's drink and her friend didn't notice. And yeah, I don't think she did it like maliciously, but
I don't care. That's weird. That's weird. Don't do
no,
that.
I agree. I agree. And
What
I
the
was just
fuck?
like, right. And so just, it's
Is
just
this what they're teaching in the MLMs?
I don't know. I don't
Trick your
know.
friends into liking the products by throwing
I was like,
their drinks.
yeah, I was like, this is weird. But yeah, when I was
Wow.
sitting there listening to this spiel, I was like, I can never show my face here again because I literally want to like rip this lady a new one. But yeah, it's just I think it's gonna be a problem forever. Just like some things are like forever problems, like we're always gonna
Yeah.
have, especially with the health and fitness world. People want results faster and there's a
Yep.
market to get results faster. So I think this will be something we deal with forever, unfortunately.
100%. And there will always be either companies like Herbalife, other MLMs, or individual coaches that are willing to do the fast track because let's keep it real, money, and then you get a quick result, transformation pictures, more money, quick results, transformation pictures. People want that quick fix. It's like a high. You're like chasing that constantly. But
Mhm.
what we know and the women that we've worked with, the amount of women we have worked with, if they have done a quick fix dealio, they come to us and then it's like, okay, we are undoing a lot of mindset
Mhm.
shit. We have to really kind of take a look at like kind of, and I don't mean this in like a damage, but like what was done to your body during the quick fix
Mhm.
era? Like where
Mhm.
are we at? We have to do like an assessment. And
Mhm.
it's kind of crazy also, going back to the Herbalife, one thing that really sticks out to me the most is the kind of the blood work aspect or going to your doctor and like seeing like how this product has really impacted your
Yeah,
body.
that's
And
scary.
that's really scary. And like, think how many men or women like aren't going to the doctors. Like, they're just kind of like, I'm just feeling this way. Cause you're right. Like, I've always felt bad. So I'm not noticing this. And they're having so many health problems. Like, that is so messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me how my mom, like, literally almost died last year
What?
because I know, and not because of a product, but because she kept saying, I'm fine," while, like, literally, like, shaking in her bed, and so, like, that mindset for a lot of people is
Right.
like, "I'm fine, I don't need to go to the doctor," and you're, like, literally, like,
Right.
your liver is failing, you know what I mean? So,
Oh my God.
that's just I know, she's fine now,
Right,
but it
right.
was
But no, that's it that you're so right. A lot of people are, even if it when it's bad, they're
they still won't
willing
go.
to push
Mhm,
it off
mhm,
because of there's some work we got to do there, but they're willing to just kind of be
mhm.
like, it's not important. I will be fine. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. What shocked you the most, like doing your research?
I mean, I think the CEO, Michael, I can't remember
Yep.
his last name, saying like, we're a recruiting company, will always never not be, like that's just kind of like crazy how like that's still like the
So
main
messed
and they
up.
need like 200 million or whatever a year to keep this like afloat and moving. And it's just like it makes sense to why it's like a cockroach. It like will not die because people, some new recruits are always coming in India. I mean, how many freaking people live in India? Like that's a lot of people, a
Yeah.
lot of people
Yeah.
continually moving and coming in. And yeah, I think that was interesting hearing how many, just how at the end of the day, it's all about recruiting and 89% of them don't make any money. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really, and we talked about in the first episode how a lot of like MLMs are in like um like the Midwest or like Utah, and just reminding yourself that it started for a way to like it started under the guides of like empowering women who were maybe
Mhm.
in, a bad financial state, wanting independence, but who was always at the top? White men.
Men,
White men were always at the
literally.
top. So even when I forget which MLM it was, but it was like basically like really targeting to like black women.
Mhm.
Remember in the well, we
The
talked about it in the
notes.
previous episode.
Oh, yeah, this is the makeup line.
The
I
makeup
don't know
line,
which
yes.
one.
Thank you. Yeah. I guarantee you, if we go and look at it, who was the head of that company? A white man. Like, no doubt
Probably, we don't
in
know.
my mind. Maybe, yeah, probably fact check that, but like, let's keep it real. Wasn't it in like the 19 like 60s or 70s? Like, it was early enough
I
where
don't know if
it
I
was
have. Go ahead.
she might not have it, fact check me, but you know what? I stand on business and I'm probably right, maybe allegedly. I don't really know. But it's this sentiment that disgusts me of like we're under the guise of empowering these women and giving them a path to financial freedom, but look who's at the top and look who
Mhm,
only cares about, like you said, the recruitment aspect and not the core values of their business. Like wherever was it about health, this CEO man never talked about health. If it was
mhm.
actually a quality product, that would be that would be the emphasis, but it's literally just like recruitment, money, pyramid, get your people under my
Mm.
people, and let's make some money. Like, oh, that's crazy. That makes me like literally so angry.
I mean, yeah, but then again, I'm like, not surprised.
I'm
It's
angry about a lot. And you have a very good thing of like just like kind of being like, yeah, like that sucks. And you're like, it
uh,
is what it is. Like I'm angry. I want to I want to enact change. And you're like, that is what it is.
well, we are enacting change. We're talking about it, and
But
hopefully,
I need to like go down,
riot.
like knock on
It's
everybody's
work.
doors and like let them know because you could be listening to this, but your freaking neighbor could be, over there ordering more product
Hmm.
from their
Hmm.
MLM. And it's like, ugh,
I
ladies,
know.
we need to, oh, that's crazy. It is crazy. I was actually like blown away. And did anything ever happen like about these lawsuits?
I didn't get that far. I
Like
just
were
saw
people
they had.
rewarded money? Were any public apologies made? Like I am
I
just
don't think.
enamored.
I think if they ever apologize, then that would like totally link them.
Kind of, yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
of course.
yeah, I don't think anything was ever said. Like anything
Wow.
really like came out of it. Yeah, because like it wasn't
Wow.
like. I think because they just stopped taking it and then it stopped happening. Like I think it would be more effort to like link it. I don't know.
Get a
That's one
class action
area.
lawsuit going.
Uh, so do you have any
Crazy.
idea who you were doing for the deep dive next month? A person, a place, a thing?
I have no idea. I really want to like sit down. I think this week I'm going to sit down and kind of like start taking
Mhm.
like my notes. Like we have a whiteboard in our basement. I'm going to just like start like I'm like a crazy person trying to solve a crime, but like figure out like who I'm doing, what is like the
Yeah.
next really important topic because again, we're coming at these with the intention of educating you all and
Mhm.
opening your eyes because there's a lot of sketchy things health and fitness related that just kind of like fly under the radar and
Mhm.
if you don't know you don't know and
Mhm.
we're lucky enough to be in the space where like we can identify these things and to help you guys feel more empowered and to say okay I know how to practice better discernment I can look out for these
Yep.
red flags I can feel
Yep.
really empowered and not preyed upon so I'm gonna be putting on like my detective glasses and like figuring out who is next. I would
Who
say
the
who our
next
next
victim
victim
is?
is.
Victim, but like because they're the villain and we are the crusaders.
We are the I am a vigilante.
uh well let's end it
Wrap it
there,
up.
yeah, before
Yeah.
we go. So yeah, next month, guys, if you're new listeners here, we have our wrapping up episode next week, then first of the month episode first of the month. We have a guest episode, the second Wednesday of the month, and then we do a deep dive the third episode of the month, and then the fourth is kind of just like you get what you get. It's
Yeah, we
some
should get.
topic. It might be catching up. It might be who knows.
I love it.
uh, Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share us with your girlfriend who needs to hear this. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendships, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.